This is June the 16th, 2026, and we're all happy to be here, aren't we? I'll ask Robin to do the roll call and establish the meeting.
Mayor Gordon,
Here.
Judge Watson,
Here.
Judge Bottom.
And let me interrupt 1 second, Robin, I'm sorry. If you're a voting member and you're on Zoom, the law says you need to be heard and seen when you vote.
I couldn't get it off of mute. I'm here.
Well, I'm not gonna wait to do that. But I meant to remind everybody of that, and we have to do it all the time downtown, so
Sorry about
anyway,
that.
thank you. No worries.
Judge Barnes,
Here.
Tiffany Reeves,
Here.
me, Robin, Jeremy Herman.
Here.
Stacy May,
Here.
Hannah Gregory,
Here.
Rolando Thacker,
Here.
Rachel Adams.
Here.
Michael Bushman,
Here.
Colin Mosley,
Here.
David Detlinger,
Here.
Todd Blanton,
Here.
Jennifer Hayes,
Here.
Amy Glasscock,
Here.
David West, Judge West.
Yes.
And Demetrius Gay.
Here.
And I'll do a small introduction with him. Demetrius is our summer intern with the city of Lexington, and he started yesterday, but he's already done a lot of work and helping out. But we wanted to welcome him and show him how the meeting goes and the importance of the Leos and everything. So, welcome to Demetrius. It's summer. Yeah. So that's everyone, and we do have a quorum.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And with that, we'll move on to the action items. First is the March 17th, 2026 minutes. If you all will, I'll entertain a motion to approve in a second, first of all. Is there a motion?
I'll make it motion.
All right, and a second.
Second.
Now, are there any, these are in your packet, are there any corrections or additions? Anything at all? All right, for the Leos, all those in favor, say aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Next, we will review and approve the finance reports for February, March, and April, and I'll turn this over to Colin. Morning.
Good morning, Mayor
Yeah.
Gordon. Thank you very much. So page 5 of your report brings up February 2026 finance report. So at the end of February, our overall budget was expended at about 60%. We were at 56% at the same time in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 65%, and we were at 62% at the same time in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were 73% expended compared to 66% at the same time in the prior year. The dislocated worker program was at 41% expended compared to 40% in the prior year. And then our youth program was 64% compared to 51% at the same time in the prior year. And then our 20% youth work experience requirement was at about 117,000. We were a little over halfway on that requirement at that point. And then you can see also at the bottom how we were tracking on our Equus invoices. January and February Equus invoices were paid within roughly about 30 days for each of those. After that page, you can see all the detail for the various programs. We've got the admin, adult, dislocated worker, and youth, and then we also do have the bluegrass, the BG Cap / Yokohama grant that we have through the Department of Labor. You can see the status of that. The Department of Labor is very happy with us on how we're doing on that. We do quarterly reports and monthly drawdowns with them. And our Putting Young Kentuckians First report is in there as well. In the National Dislocated Worker KY Storms of 2025 grant is in there as well. If you just want to see those details, we can see that for all 3 of the months that we have. But if anybody has any questions specifically about February, please let me know. And if not, I will move on to March.
Does anyone have questions about February? Anything at all? All right, let's go ahead then and have a motion to approve the February report. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
We actually, okay. Judge Bottoms, and then we had a
I'll
second
second.
here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now, are there any other questions about February? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Right, that motion passes. Now, Colin, go right ahead with March.
Yes, ma'am. So at the end of March, we were at 67% overall expended over the overall budget. We were at 62% at the same time in the prior year. Admin costs were at about 74% compared to 70% at the same time in the prior year. Our adult program expenditures were at 80%, and then we were at 71% at the same time in the prior year. Dislocated Worker Program was at 47% expended compared to 46% at the same time in the prior year. Youth Program had been about 69% expended compared to 58% at the same time in the prior year. And then our youth work experience, you can see the update on there, 117,000 and some change. That actually went up in the next month. And we're tracking well to actually meet that requirement after the end of this month or after we factor in the May reports, just so you know. And then you can see there's the February, that was on the last report for February, the February EQUIS invoice, and then our March invoice. That one, that didn't say paid on that one, but in the April one, you'll see that one was paid. And then I'll direct everybody, if you just want to skim through, you can see the detail on all of those different programs, including our non-WIOA programs. And then that very last page, that current grant balances page, it shows you just all the whole detail of all of our WIOA grants, and including like we've got the trade grants and the Quest grant that we're coming to the end of on that too. But that's just the snapshot of our total position with the grants at the end of March. If anybody has any questions about March, please let me know. I would like to address and.
All right, are there any questions about March? Anything at all? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the March report. Is there a motion? Don't be shy.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
There you go. Thank you. And any further questions? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you. That passes. All right, Colin, still with you.
Absolutely. So April is, I will direct you to page 27. The April report begins there. At the end of April, we were at 74% expended on our overall budget, and then we were at 69% at the same time in the prior year. Our admin costs were at 77% compared to 79% at the same time in the prior year. Our adult expenditures were at 87% expended compared to 78% at the same time in the prior year. A Dislocated Worker Program had gone about 54% expended compared to 50% at the same time in the prior year. Our youth program was 79% expended compared to 65% at the same time in the prior year. And then our work experience was at about 177,000 getting pretty close to that requirement that we have there. And then you can see that March was paid out on the 14th of May, and then that April Equus invoice was paid out I think a week and a half ago. It just doesn't have that on this report as the date paid at the time of this report. That had not been done yet. And then if you have any questions about any of the detail on all the other ones, or I'll also remind you that we do have that current grant balances page at the very end. That'll give you the snapshot of all the grants and where we stand on those. I will reiterate that any grants that do expire on June 30th of 2025, we are on track to expend all of those. We have already expended all of those. The only thing that we'll get, we will have a little recapture on the rapid response funds that we do receive, which it's kind of difficult to actually fully expend all of those. But what they do is that those rapid response funds will get recaptured by the state and then reallocated as dislocated worker expenditure or dislocated worker program funds. So anything that does get recaptured out of that pot, which is we got about 50,000 or so in that, we would be able to recapture and use some of that as dislocated worker. Probably they gave us the timeline this week. That's usually around the fall, around October.
So does that always come back to us once they've recaptured it, and then does it come back to us, or does it get distributed?
Yes, they do they have some kind of a formula that they use and they reallocate. I'm not sure exactly how much of that we will get, if it will be the full amount, if it will be like 80% or something. I don't know. But most of that will come back to us, if not all of it.
Okay. Are there other questions for Colin?
Not a question, but a comment.
Yes.
On let's see, the Kentucky Storms paper at the bottom, a couple of the columns only have hashtags, so we don't actually have those totals.
You're totally right, Shirley. Miss Judge Bottoms, I do apologize.
Okay.
That column did not get fully expanded properly. But that would say about $16,491.75 on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good catch. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, could I hear a motion to approve the April report? Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Judge West, all right, thank you.
Judge West is not on the executive committee, so we need to hold that.
Did you hear that, Judge West? You're not on the executive committee.
I like
darn
it. I like it a
Oh
lot.
my gosh, we don't. All right, yes, thank you. All right, any further questions? All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right,
Uh-oh.
now we've lost everybody. We told Judge West he wasn't on, and we lost everybody. That's the way this works, right? Oh, brother. Colin, thank you very much.
Good job.
Really
It's my pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, let's move on to the, Robin has the board membership for,
Seven.
Stella.
The full board membership for all of our members to access the set of resources. And if anyone's going to the conferences, you get the reduced rate. It costs $250. So the VG WIB has already approved that. So we're bringing that to you to make sure you guys would approve that also. And that does include, we've included the Leo members. So you can,
Can you remind everyone when it is?
Amy, can I throw it to you?
Yeah, August 30th and September 2nd.
Very good. Okay,
And then do you know when the next one is that'll be?
It's in March. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, but it's mid-March, the 27th.
So there is always a fall.
And it'll be in Memphis.
have to go through summer, fall and spring to get to that one, or winter. Winter will be over. All right, so do you need an approval
Yes.
from the week? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
All right, y'all are busy over here. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, no, I'm not allowed to, as the chair, make a motion, so it's all up to you all. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you, that passes, and was there, Tiffany, did you want to add something about the set of attendance?
Yes, so, we are requesting the vote for approval for some board staff to go to the Louisville SETA. Typically, like, we open it up for board members and Leos if they want to go. However, with this SETA coming up, it's in Louisville. There's some changes to the format of it. They're not doing as many best practices. The first day is just going to be a bunch of panel discussions. So, we were just gonna have, a few of the board support staff attend this one. And then we'll open it up to the spring one, just to see how this new, the politest way to say it, new format, is gonna happen.
Okay, but you don't need any approval or anything?
We do
Or
need
do you?
a vote for you all to say, yes, it's okay for board support staff to go, the with members have already approved.
Is there a motion to accept that it's okay for board members to attend? Don't be
I'll
shy.
make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments? All right, here we go. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. And then Jeremy, you're gonna have to tell us what this renewal is.
Oh, okay. So our, I guess we're talking about the VR thing, I didn't.
Yeah, the virtual
Okay,
reality.
So, yeah, the VR program is up for renewal on October the 1st, and, we have, a few different options to, quotes that we got, but, I think the board, the workforce board decided to do the full, all access pass. It's
$108,125 for the renewal of the whole program, which is what we have now. It includes the career exploration and the training portions, which we're going to start using, really working on it already in recovery centers and things like that to help them get some basic training to help them in the transition.
That is also for a 4-year contract. That's not
Yes.
1 year, so.
And the amount that the WIB approved actually includes some money in there too, to buy supplies and things attached to that, or like say we need to replace the batteries or equipment and things like that. So that was,
And I think Tiffany, you were telling me earlier that it also applies in jails when you're doing programming in jail.
The one reason that we had such an issue before, with taking our VR headsets into the jails was connecting to their Wi-Fi, right? They have Transfer VR has set it up now to where you don't have to connect to Wi-Fi to go through and do some of the things. But now, once you get out and connect to the Wi-Fi, it downloads everything to what I call the cloud. So that's gonna be very, very beneficial in trying to do these projects. Like, we've got a project that's gonna kick off in August, with Boyle County Jail. They're kind of gonna be our trial run on it. Like, one of the curriculums is if you have individuals who are getting ready to be returning citizens and they want to go into the construction field, like, there's OSHA trainings, and all kinds of stuff. But it gives you literally curriculum like you would if you're in this classroom, you know, teaching in the classroom. So, I'm very excited about it.
And did you say the previous contract was 1 year?
No,
No.
the previous was 4 years also.
Oh, okay, so it's the same length of time, okay. Does anybody have questions for Jeremy about this? All right, we need another motion here. Motion to approve this contract for renewal.
I'll do. Second.
All right. Judge Bottoms, they're getting in there first.
I know it, they're a tag team now.
Okay, all
That's
those
all
in
right.
favor say
Go
aye.
Eddie.
Really, you're next.
All right, all right.
Is there anyone opposed? All right, thank you, that passes. Now we have our informational items. And Michael will talk to us about the budget.
All right.
This.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to share my
Please.
screen. Let's see. All right. Can now everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. And I think everybody has a packet
Yeah.
here also.
Perfect. Yes. So hopefully you got in the packet the budget as well, and if you need the screen, here is the screen as well. I will start. This is for our fiscal year 27 budget. So July 1st of 2026 through June 30th of 2027. I will start at the very top here. We got our estimated FY27 allocations from the state May 5th. So we're projecting to receive around $3.38 or $3.3 million. That's that second to furthest right column that just says budget, and then just informational. The far right, separated by a divider, is last year's budget, just for reference, so you can compare the two. We also are estimating carryover from our current funding of around $3 million. So our total budget for our next fiscal year is around $6.4 million. Now, next section is operating costs. That is just the Bluegrass Ad staff. I will mainly these items are basically the same. The only thing I'll also note is I included the Bluegrass Cap column, which is the fifth column here. The reason being is we will have direct charges, including salary. We have some supplies, professional development, so trainings, as well as indirect. So this now receives its own column for budget breakout. Going to individual line items, starting with staff in the operating cost section, I did go ahead and reflect for an average of a 3% wage increase for employees. This is not a COLA. This is based on performance evaluations. So all staff at Bluegrass Ad have had their yearly annual performance evaluations, and we have a scaled tiered system. So the better the evaluation, the more the raise that you get. But on average, Ad as a whole, and this includes the WIOA department, that average out to about 3%. So just for FYI, that's a 3% increase for the staff line item. The next line item I would like to bring your attention to is we have our professional development. That is for Ad trainings and staff. We got this new Bluegrass Cap, the Yokohama grant, and we're going to take advantage of that and go to a lot of trainings for that. So we went ahead and put all the professional development there. And then also of note, the Bluegrass WIB and Leo support. So that's trainings for the board members. We did budget this year for 2 Leo and 2 WIB members to go to both fall and spring conferences. So hopefully we can get some good board member activity there as well. The next line item is the Career Center. In FY26, we had some unknowns whether we were going to cover cost. We had this NFA between all partners at the Career Center. So basically what shook out is that we're carrying less on our books right now. So right now we have the utilities for all the Career Centers that Bluegrass Ad pays for. So we're averaging about 180 to 190,000. We went ahead with a reasonable smaller estimate based on current expenditure rates. I did bump it up just for, again, projecting for higher costs for next year. Next line is, next section is the program delivery costs and the one-stop operator costs. This is both our direct service providers. So this is Equus staff. Just of note, just like we did last year, because we receive our allocations so late and there's a lot of unknowns, what we did is we went ahead and prorated all of our costs based on the allocations received. So if we receive 30% of our funding for youth, 30% of a line item would go towards the youth program. That's our current allocation method. So what I did is I went ahead and prorated the expenditures and the estimated budget for Equus staff, also including the same increase in salary. Again, we don't have any impact or control over that, but I went ahead and also budgeted for an increase in salary for them as well. But what this means is that these are basically placeholder sections. The totals will not change. So for the adult program, the total budget of $555,000 to Equus, that will remain the same. All they're going to do is they're going to get the allocations that we've given to them, and they will reorganize each individual line item. But the totals for each program will remain the same. And finally, of note, we did leave a carryover of around 1.4 million, which is this total reserve funding down here. So that's basically our current allocations that we're estimating less the estimated costs. And we have this $1.389 million what we're projecting in carryover. Again, these are rough estimates based on what we're projecting, as well as the allocations that the state has estimated that they're going to give to us. So what we plan to do is once we have official carryover, once we have the official allocations received, we will make an amendment to true up the values. Also of note, I went ahead and gave because this Bluegrass CAP program is a 3-year program, I went ahead and just budgeted the current year split. So it's a 3-year split. What I will also do in this said amendment, when we have the trued up values, is whatever the true carryover for the Bluegrass CAP program is, I will increase that amount, and that will be a budget modification because we're changing total amounts with Equus. And I know that's a lot. Is there any questions so far on the main WIOA and Bluegrass CAP budget?
Are there questions for Michael? I might ask you a couple.
Sure, go ahead.
Back up to the very top under allocations.
Yes.
And you may have said this, but there's quite a big difference between fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27 budget. Can you say again why that is such a big difference?
So the biggest reason between the totals here, the 6.399 and the 4.6, the biggest reason is the Bluegrass CAP program. We did not initially budget for that, have that included on a budget for the FY26 budget. We did start that contract, I believe, in June of 2025. Is that correct? So it basically was the last month of the prior fiscal year, so it wasn't included on that budget. So what we did is we went ahead and just had the remaining carryover for this Bluegrass CAP program and included that 1.6 in this year's budget.
Okay, so that should even out a little bit next year, is that?
So yes, a little bit. So that is the total value and the total allocations that we have right now in that program. So that'll expire in 2028. So that carryover will still be there. Hopefully, smaller, like about a 570,000 carryover to get us trued up with the next fiscal year. But if you're looking at just the WIOA programs, admin, adult, educated worker, youth, that total is 4.79 million. So that's more consistent with FY26, if that helps.
Okay, that helps a lot. I had one other question.
Sure.
Under operating costs.
Yes.
And I'm not sure how we do it's the indirect costs.
Yes.
I know how we do it at Urban County Government, but that went up quite a bit.
Correct.
Can you tell me why?
Sure. So indirect costs, the way we do our cost allocation plan at Bluegrass Ad is it's basically we budget the indirect costs what they are. So that includes salary that we cannot, again, define to a specific program, which again, that would be David's salary, the executive director. It would be HR. It would be myself if I'm not working on a specific program or doing something specific. So basically your overhead is what, some people term it as. Basically what we do is we budget our total indirect costs. This could be building costs for us. So if we have a roof that we've paid for, if we have, we know that we have an elevator expense coming up. We know that we're having to do tile for a flooring that's fallen apart. All that is captured in our indirect costs. Then what we do is it's based on salary and benefits. So if 10% of all direct salary, so let's say, we charge directly to the workforce program, 20% of all of our direct charges, 20% of the total indirect cost would go to the workforce program. So it just follows whatever the charges do. So we do have a larger increase this year for indirect. There's a lot of things on our books. Bluegrass Ad, we have several software. We have cybersecurity budgets that we have budgeted for. So basically ensuring that we're not breaking HIPAA laws, making sure that devices are secured. That is an expense that has been put on the FY27 budget for the ad as a whole, not just the workforce program. And something else that we're doing is time spent on new project management programs such as Monday.com. The Department of Community and Economic Development, they're already shifted towards that project management software. That's something that we've heard whispers that it's going to be a requirement. So we went ahead and implemented that. It's actually been a huge help, but that also includes other staff such as indirect admin staff has been included that as well. Those are the biggest contributors to the increase in indirect, as well as we do have some capital budget for the building. Again, mainly we have flooring and we have a little bit of like roofing and like elevator expenses that we expect this year.
So that about $100,000 increase
Correct.
in indirect cost went to, tell me one more time, flooring?
It could go to
Where else did it go?
building expenditures, but the main contributor for the increase, again, it's always salary. So if David's and I's salary were indirect, if we got the 3% average increase as well, that's 3% additional indirect costs. So salary is a big contributor, but the big one is we have a lot of software that's going to be implemented, AI engine, because AI is going to be in our lives whether we want it to be or not. So we're trying to have restrictions and controls over how our staff use AI. So that's one of the expenditures, for instance. So the biggest contributors are staff, building costs, where we have, again, some flooring and some elevator expenses. And then another huge one is we have increases in our computer software, again, for indirect.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned AI. Do we have policies?
That's something
Or
that
how
the ad is working on. Yes, we don't have anything set right now for an actual policy. That's something that, again, we've had trainings. We had a couple, oh my gosh, maybe someone can help me. The name of the company that we just used. Authentilead, thank you. So we contracted with Authentilead, and they've now had 3 trainings for AI use for all staff. So we've had staff sit on those and how to use AI, the dangers of AI. We've also now had a training on our KnowBe4 system that we use for training. And then as we're doing these trainings, again, we're looking at what's called an AI engine. So that's going to kind of restrict and manage and see what AI is being utilized on all of our devices, Bluegrass Ad devices. So we're trying to implement these new controls because it's kind of the Wild West right now. This is not something that we're just feeling, but everyone else is figuring out how to use AI correctly. So that's something that we're doing is we're implementing these controls, as well as our IT director, Alex Ball. Myself and HR, we're all kind of figuring out the AI policy. So there's nothing official yet, but that is something that we're working on.
So someone is drafting specific policies for AI use. Is that what I?
We are, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, because I think that's very important. I know in Irvine County government, we've done that. And with every AI use, you have to have human interaction. You can't do automatic. And are you looking at, sorry to get into this, but specific, do you have a specific menu of AI uses that can be used and that's it? Or is it, you said it's the wild, wild west, which doesn't give me a lot of comfort. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I mean, I think some of the things that we're looking at is like protection of personal information, HIPAA with the PDS Medicaid program that we do. What documents that we give AI access to when we're uploading documents from the Bluegrass ad to the internet to look at. Those are some of the main things. And then the platforms that we use, like whether we're using Copilot or Claude or like which
We have a list of accepted.
Exactly.
Okay. And do you have any stipulations about human interaction, or are employees allowed to just let AI do it?
We haven't written policies on like what the employees use or what they can use it for.
Okay.
We've talked at department head level about like, how to use the AI for, creating a PowerPoint presentation, summarize documents that you might have, acceptable practices that will help you do your job as opposed to just turning it over and letting them draft documents for you, which then could lead to some of the hallucinations and other things that you get, which are the wrong side of the AI.
Yes.
As far as the workforce department goes, with the education and labor cabinets, I have to notify them anytime we're using AI that's not human centered. Right, so the basic is, what we typically in the workforce department do, and I've used this as an example. It's not appropriate for me to send an email that says, "Are you out of your blank mind?" Right? But I can type into my Microsoft Copilot, information that I want to get all to say in a frustrated moment and say, make it polite and professional. That's about all we use it for in the workforce department, because even with their data management system that the direct service providers have to use for our clients and things like that, like there's no AI connected with it. So workforce is, while the ads creating policies, the education and labor cabinet is already sent down to all the workforce areas.
Their policy.
Yes.
When will your policies be finished?
I don't have a date for that right now, but just like Tiff said, I mean, like using a combined number of guidances that are coming to us from the Department of Labor, from the Transportation Cabinet, from the Department of Local Government. We got to look at all of those and bring them all together under one roof.
Okay, I think that would be something good for this board to understand when you finish those, but sorry to break into your budget like
Oh.
this. But I think you brought it up.
Oh, yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, any questions you have, that's great. Yes.
Okay, I mean, we have been through this in depth at Bourbon County government, and there is so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I think policies are a good thing. And, anyway, let me ask if anyone else has any questions about the budget. Any more questions? None? All right, I think we need to approve this since it's due. No?
Okay, so this is just the informational section, the informational item, because Jennifer now has to take and get her actual line item squared away. And then at the September joint meeting is whenever you all will approve, so, because then it'll have actual true numbers.
So
Instead of placeholders.
retrospect.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And we've had to do it that way.
Right.
So-
Okay, very good. Michael, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, Stacy, we have strategic plan rewrite. I feel like we've been doing this maybe for a long time. Of course, that's what a strategic plan is, right?
Right. You should get regular updates on it. That's probably, you're getting there. We are reaching the end of our current strategic plan, and we had an agreement with EKU. That's the reason it's back on the agenda again. EKU closed down their facilitation department, which we had the agreement with.
Oh.
So we had only had one meeting in the planning process. And so we have closed out that and reached an agreement with the staff who were formerly with the EKU Facilitation Department to assist us with continuing the rewrite as a contract outside of EKU. So they are going to assist us with continuing. We've got some great information from the first meeting. We have our second meeting next week, which is the board support staff. And from there, we will work with them to combine all the information, and it will be presented to the board members and essentially, well, you guys as Leos and the board members at the September meeting for any edits or changes or approval. So,
Good.
that's it.
Are there questions for Stacy?
Why is EKU posting?
Yeah.
Well, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Not even not even the facilitation department is able to get that. Because,
Efficient.
yeah, they were a zero sum. They, yeah,
That's a good song.
yeah,
That's too, yeah.
it really is. Some very talented and a lot of skilled people got laid off with that, but Rolly has been helping with them.
Good. That's great. Okay, thank you very much. And we'll go to our direct service provider, Jennifer.
Thank you, Mayor. In the packet, you'll see your April 2026 monthly report. And I'll go through some of the highlights and then answer any questions. But at the end of April, we had 545 enrollments with 370 individuals. And that number compared to April of 2025 was 119. So substantial growth with enrollments. And partially that's due to we have 3 current National Dislocated Worker Grant, which brings in a lot of enrollments. So it's due to that extra funding that we have. In April, we had 24 work-based learning participants on the WIOA side, 96 ITAs, that's approved trainings. So that's tuition assistance. And we exited employment 26 WIOA participants. So those numbers are strong. And then on the non-WIOA, the Putting Young Kentuckians First, we had 89 active ITA or people in training and 21 work-based learning participants. And we had a total of 126 exits for total, not just for that month. So that's the running total. And then under those National Dislocated Worker Grants, we had 118 enrolled for the Army Depot and the Yokohama grant. That's a single grant. So we combine those numbers. And then under Storm, we had 6 total and Quest 57. The Quest grant's actually coming to an end in September of this year. The Storm grant is a grant that we're going to be doing a lot with over the next couple of years. And that's a specific grant that can serve each of your counties. So it's funding that we have for city and county local government to help upskill some of the workers. Some of the things we've done in Powell County, we helped with some CDL and some EMT. We did the same in Estill. We're working in just recently this week, Boyle County, trying to get a work-based learning opportunity with the detention center. We did. So that's not in this report. And then in Woodford County, we're also working with the road department for 4 individuals. So that is a grant that's very specific to you all and that can benefit you all. So if you have, I know that yesterday we spoke with Nicholas County and they have some EMTs that they're wanting to upskill up to paramedics. So this is funding that you all should pay attention to because it can benefit your specific counties. So, and then the Quest grant's coming to an end, but that was specific. We really geared that toward recovery centers. So we worked with a lot of different recovery centers, DBA, Revive, and then a Stable Recovery, had a big emphasis this year. So those are not the only ones. We do all together recovery in Boyle County. So, but those are just some of the highlights. And then I've listed out some of our initiatives and cohorts. going into the program year, we wanted to have cohorts in many of our counties, just small groups of training. And we've done a really good job at hitting most of those counties. For specifics, we did, one example, we did forklift in 3 counties. So we did, Lexington, and I know that you were on site there. And we had another one planned that we had to stop just due, we had reached our funding limit. But we do plan to circle back with Amy and help get that one at some point in the new program year. And we also did forklift in Madison County at the ATC, and we did forklift in Estill County at the ATC. So we did 3 forklifts. We've done farm tech, CNA. So these are mostly all short-term training. So it's geared towards 6 months or less, trying to get these individuals that don't want to do a 2 or 4 year pathway, but rather just a short-term training into work. So that's what the Putting Young Kentucky in non-WIOA grant's actually all about. We have currently, just started a natural gas, initiative in June. And that covered, I think 4 or 5 individuals. And they went through just a very short-term, training for natural gas operator. And then if they completed that, they were all guaranteed employment with Martin Contracting. And so we have received notification that all completed and all were hired on with Martin. And so those individuals are making 18 an hour. And they're all young kids, 18 to 24, that didn't want to do like a 2 or 4 years. So really good success story there. We've reached out to Martin or to Somerset Community College did that for us. And they're trying to round up some pictures so we can do success stories with those individuals. But we've listed out all of the counties and some of the outreach that we do in each of those counties. And then we always include our business service page where shows where our business service consultants have reached out to employers to help them. We've got job fairs listed. Todd usually covers that in his report. And then in this specific report, we have 8 success stories, which is a very large number. And that means 8 people that come through our doors, we helped in some capacity, they resulted in employment. That's
a great report.
Yeah. If you all have any questions, I can answer specifics.
You've been busy.
We have a team that worked really hard.
Okay, are there any questions for Jennifer? About her report or?
No, but I think she does a great job.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think everybody would ditto that. All right. Last but certainly not least, Todd, we've got our lead operator.
All right. Mayor, in your packet, you'll see my report for April. Always recap the number of walk-ins we've had in our 3 offices and the number of referrals that we've been getting in for the WIOA program. So those numbers pretty steady. The referral number is really high. It has been basically the last 6 to 8 months. You can see all the hiring events that have went on, employer meetings. Airmark was a rapid response meeting that was in response to the UK contract. We didn't actually end up having to do anything with that because the new contractor ended up absorbing all those individuals, so we didn't have to do a rapid response with them. A couple of other ones that we've been involved in that didn't make the April report, but we followed up on those in May. We did one with Bay County Public Schools. There was a layoff announced with the administrative office of the courts in Frankfurt. We did those rapid responses last week, 3 different sessions for about 100 individuals there. In April, we sent 100 take-home job fair bags to the Paul Slater Library in Frankfurt. They were doing an in-person job fair, but we also provided them with 100 take-home job fair bags that folks could take with them. So been pretty busy for April. May, like I said, we had some rapid response sessions. The Army Depot layoffs are still going on. We've got another session next week, but it is winding down, kind of towards the end. The sessions are getting smaller and smaller. We did have our veterans event in May that was well attended by a lot of our community partners and employers. And actually the Department of Labor sent the representative down who attended that event, and she was very pleased with what she saw from the event. I think Ted went to some conferences where it's been mentioned as a highlight of what we've done. So if anybody's got questions, I'll be glad to take them.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Does anyone have questions for Todd? Good job, thank you. Well, there's so much going on. I love it. Well, now's the time for open discussion.
So the one thing,
Something?
yeah, that I'm gonna touch on is, we're gonna do, we're partnering with Food Chain and United Way. We're doing, Surviving Adulthood, an adulting workshop, for kids that's gonna.
Too late for me.
I don't know, some days I'm still like, I don't know if I'm adulting the right way. So Robin's out, not in here right now because WKYT is here to try to, do the thing. But we've got we're gonna cover everything from your basic, financial literacy stuff, even all the way to etiquette. We've got United Way coming just with a basic handshake. That's something that we were taught to do in our generation, but sometimes the younger generations aren't taught to do it. And I can have Robin send out more information about all of it, but it's for 16 to 24-year-olds. We're recruiting. We're doing it here in Fayette County right now, but I do want to expand it out. So I'll probably be calling you all saying, hey, is there somewhere in your county that we can do this? For the 16 to 24-year-olds that are in your all's counties. That's just not right here in Fayette County.
Will it include things like how to write a resume? How to have an interview and look someone in the eye, those kinds of.
That stuff as well.
Skills.
Even the soft skills, essential skills, whichever one you want to call them. And like the thing is, a lot of times, I know with me, whenever I first moved out and started adulting, the first time I had to buy tires, I didn't understand the cost of that, and that was way back in the day. And I called my dad and I was like, Dad, do you know how much tires are? And he Sissy, I've been buying your tires for a long time. Yes. So even down to those little things that we're gonna talk about, couponing, you know what I mean, and all that stuff with them. But the essential skills of career readiness is always, that's our main focus. I like the fact that United Way is gonna partner with us on the etiquette part. You know, even down to, there've been times that I've had to go to meals at different places and you see all that silverware and I'm like, which one do I use first? You know, because that's just not how I was raised. You just grab your fork and spoon and you roll on. So yeah, that's about the only thing in the open discussion, because I know that they're here to interview you.
Okay, is there anything
Question.
else?
Yes.
Is there a limit on how many can come
We're expecting 25 to 30
Yeah.
from all the counties?
from
The
him.
total?
And there is the little thing, QR code on the corner of the thing. So they use that to sign up. And when we hit 30, you know, it's first come, first served, right? So all they have to do is sign up on there.
But like I said, we're wanting to do in each county, you know what I mean? Try to hit each county, because for a young kid who's from Estill County to Lexington ain't a big deal for a lot of us, but for a 17-year-old who maybe just started to drive, mama and daddy might not want them to drive into the big city of Lexington. So if,
So you're gonna offer this in each county?
we're gonna try to, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great.
Yeah, it is.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get the full agenda and stuff, then I'll send out the flyer and the agenda. So you can see the details.
It's interesting because we're doing a fair amount of that inside our jail for people who are getting ready to be released. Because many of them do not know a lot of these.
Yes.
Anyway, what else? Does anyone have anything else?
I got something
Okay.
about this.
Okay.
Do you have do anything about, cursing? You know, these schools are not teaching cursing. I get applications in and people fill those, young kids fill those out and you can't tell what they've written.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's bad, pretty bad. Because I always you know, my mom taught school and she was always real neat in her handwriting. And I try to follow her example, you know. If I get an application and I can't tell who it's from, I don't hardly even pay attention to it. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I think it's bad. I think it's a slam on our educational system, I think.
I think they started teaching that back in school now.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Right,
think
yeah.
it has.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people couldn't, you know, a few generations know it and they would write and the younger generations couldn't read it.
Yeah.
So,
That's what we
it's
got
a
right now,
problem.
you know.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
And
Okay, remind me when our next, is the joint meeting our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
September 10th.
All right, very good. All right, is there anything else before
Just
we?
real quick update,
Yeah.
on the AI policy. I did, contact our IT director, Alex Paul. He has drafted an IT policy, so I wasn't aware that he had a draft already going. But I'm gonna get with Jeremy to make sure that that includes things from the Educational Workforce Development Council. We'd also like to look at Lexington's to make sure we've got all the best practices in there. So Amy, if you wanna send us, that would be,
You could say-
yeah, that would be great. And then, and once we have all that vetted, we'll have it in our employee handbook and it'll be approved by our executive.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
do we not need one locally in our counties?
We can definitely share that, what we produce and get that to you and do some training on it too.
Kind of a best practice. That would be
Exactly.
great. Yeah, that's a good idea. What else? Any, Robin has something.
Briefly add, after we adjourn, if you guys want to look, we had a recent stand down event for veterans, and this is the backpack. Mayor came, we're thinking.
It was a wonderful event.
But some of you haven't seen it, so we're kind of proud of what we gave the veterans at the event and stuff, if you want to look at it. It's here.
And then the extra ones, I know that we're donating some to, it's in Clark County. I forget. They have that, yeah, I was gonna say, I just lost my word. But yeah. so-
Quite a few veterans attended this. It was
Yes.
very successful. And a lot of great information, all those tables of providers, it was great. All right, well, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I think we're done.
I'll make it most.
Oh, and we had a second right here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye,
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you all. for your
Lift up all of you.
thank you.
Good day, everyone.